What is the next move you will make in your life? I'm asking that question because it is before you right now, and I'm going to explain a little bit of this so you will understand what is happening, because I know a lot of people are concerned about our world and what might be happening. And I've been the person holding back and not talking about this as much, and you have probably been doing something similar to that. As you know, I'm a life purpose coach, and I know everyone has this purpose that they're born to live, and they do it at particular times. You're looking at the world now, and you're wondering what's happening. And what is happening is that it's changing. We're going into a new era, and I've spoken of this, and I don't know how I knew that information. I don't understand how I had that. Just like you don't understand why you have something within you that has not been actualized yet, that you have not believed, that you've not done, and now you're feeling something inside you that you think you might want to do this. And that's happening because of what is happening in the world, and you are here now to actualize whatever that is. Now, you may not understand that, because I didn't for the longest time, but I'm going to give you my little take on this and see where you fit into this. And I'm doing a channeling session tomorrow, as you might know, and it's really on your new life, and it's called Your New Life is About to Begin. Now, I put that title down. I don't know why, because I always receive information. This is something that I've done for years, and it has been the thing that I didn't want to tell people. I thought, oh, I can't talk about this. And so I decided to fall on my sword today. That's something I just heard that doesn't. I heard that this morning. I said, what does that mean? And that's something very old, and it has different interpretations, but it means really acknowledging, taking responsibility for your failure. And my failure has been I've not been completely honest. I have not been completely all that I could be, because it was really weird and strange. You have something like that, and it's within you, and asking you to own it now so that the world can change. And that may not make sense to you, but it will soon, because you're going to see more chaos and upheaval, and you're going to need to come within yourself and find out what it is that you brought to the world. Now, I've had trouble with this, and I'm going to explain it because I put it in my message this morning. Some of you have read my messages, the Wilhelm messages. That may seem a little strange to you, but it's how I have existed, and it's how I've created everything. It's how I've done everything. Created my programs, created my coaching, all of that. We are all intuitive. We just focus it in different places. Anything that you've done over and over again, it gets better. You develop that. Humans have that ability to develop. Now, I started doing this a long time ago out of necessity. I didn't want to do it. I was desperate. I wanted answers, and I wanted to find something. But then when I would start getting the information, I thought, this doesn't make sense. How could I have received that? This morning I was on Twitter, and I saw someone making fun of a book that was out there that was comparing a politician to Jesus. And I thought, well, why wouldn't you compare yourself to Jesus? Why aren't we doing that? That was the entire point. Why do we go to church all the time? Those who go to churches and synagogues or whatever, temple, whatever it might be for you. You go there and you hear all these things about what you could be, the potential that every single person has, except we choose not to believe it. And that's exactly what I did, because it was too strange that I could find this information. When I was doing some of my live channeling sessions, which I'm doing that one again tomorrow, I thought stuff came through that was just so strange and odd. How could I have heard that? How could I have known? And the other day I heard something that kind of explained it in a different way, what was happening in our world. And how did I know that? You know something as well. Every single person does, but it's in your area. But we don't trust it. The last week, I met with several different people, and everyone I came into, I knew what they were going through. I said, you are fearing something that's right in front of you that you can't. Yes, you're supposed to do it. I would just feel it, and I knew it. You're not given something you're not supposed to achieve or move into. I've talked often about how many times I held myself back for various reasons, because that was my personality. I never give you anything that I don't know works. And I have even caused myself, as I've talked about many times, to go bankrupt a couple of times because I said I'm not going to make any money unless I believe in what I'm doing. And that's just who I am. Now, there are other parts of that. I've been talked out of believing myself, as many of us have. We come into our families, our environments, and we are told different things. We can't do certain things. We are not that important. So that gets ingrained in us. And then it gets permeated. It builds into the society, collective society. And that's what we can really, there was a message that came through the other day about systemic ignorance. We all have it because we don't know who we are and we haven't accepted that. And then we will think certain things are weird and then we won't go into them. And I've studied this so much, and I had to get help from going to, the ancient philosophers, for instance. And then I started saying, wow, I channeled some of this stuff. How do I know that? How do you know anything? How do any of us know anything? It comes to us because we all have a birthright that gives us these, but we don't always actualize that. What is happening now is there's a big shift going on in our world, and it's a shift, as I've talked about, between power, money, equality. All of those things are being shifted, and people are fighting to hold on to their sense of power because we don't want to change. I didn't want to change, but we're supposed to. We have to. There's something bigger going on in our world, and you can see it. There's a reason that we're having this conflict with Russia and all these other nations, and why autocrats and dictators are trying to hold on to power, because they can feel a shift that's going on. But then the rest of us have to understand that shift and then decide to accept what we've denied ourselves. That's really what it is. And so that's the next move that I'm making in my life. I have come to the place where I completely understand what's happening, what's going on. I know when I can sit with you, I know what's going on for you. I can see your probable reality. I can do that. I couldn't do it for myself. Last night I'm sitting with my nephew. We were at a party, actually, and he said something to me. He said, I think I had this vision. I saw you on big stages talking to lots of people and giving all this great information. And I'm standing there listening to him, and he's thinking maybe he made this up, maybe it was a dream, and I'm thinking, no, that wasn't a dream. See, because I knew I was supposed to do that, but it didn't seem real. I couldn't possibly have done that. But I know now I have something that could give people a reason to change and become better. And what if I gave that to more people? What would happen in the world? See, because what we're feeling now is disempowered people running around fighting for their freedom and don't having any money, like me, because we don't understand who we are. That's really what's gone on. So there's something in front of you now that you will decide that you're going to do it and move forward in your life and become prosperous and make the world change, because that's what we can do. We all have that ability, but we will think it's somebody else who can do it. There were, as that conversation happened last night, and I'm listening to my nephew, and he's the same person who about 15 years ago gave me a book. I think it was about, probably longer than that now. And I didn't open it. I've done that a lot, and you've probably done it. I hide from things. I put things away. I've spoken of this. I find things that I've hidden away because I thought I couldn't accept that. I couldn't believe it. And so I go back to reading a message I received in 1989, and this will make sense to you because this has been my dilemma. You will find yours and you will work through it, because that's why we are alive. We are alive to evolve, and to evolve we have to move through some limitation, some restriction that we've had within us. It's always within us. It's not about anything that's going on out there. It's not about the other people. And that's why my message this morning, the Wilhelm message, says no one else has ever held you back, because you did that. And I know that I did that. And I'm not doing it anymore because I know that it's too important now. People need help. People need to be prospered. And that's what I'm going to do. Let me read you the message that was so embarrassing that I heard it last night, and I thought, why am I still working with this? Some of you are still thinking, I have this recurring problem that I can't get over, that I can't change. Sometimes it takes time, but it's changeable. And I know that now because I redid my program, you see. That's what happened. I had to go through it again. I said, wow, how could I have been given this and didn't know it? And then I heard very clearly, well, everybody's been given something. None of you know what you have until you are willing to find it, until you are willing to investigate and figure out what it is. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I created something that gets people to look within themselves and find their brilliance. What could be more perfect than that? But I couldn't trust that. Now I can. This was the thing that came out. This was in 1989. I'm going to read it to you so you get it. Yes, it is indeed wise for you to realize how powerful you are, and also to acknowledge the innate benevolence of your being. You seem to consistently maintain a subtle fear that somehow you would use your power in an ego-oriented way to the detriment of others. The truth for you is exactly the opposite, for the more you gain, you give away. The anger you sense, or hostility at times, reflects your inner frustration of your intellectual knowledge of your power and your simultaneous restriction of that power, which causes friction. It is everyone's power to do with as they please, and your unique way is becoming more clear and purposeful for you. Be careful of the instilled limitations that would not have you own your worth. Relax and enjoy. Yeah, I received that in 1989. And it was a gradual kind of coming to understand that and accept it. But now, because of what's happened in the world and where we are, we have to be different. We have to now decide, oh no, I'm going to believe what I came here to do. I'm going to believe that I can help a lot of people make the world a little bit different. And when we discount that we're dishonoring ourselves. And what I'm going to do from this point on, my program, as I told you, it begins with 4 weeks to your best life. That is where I'm putting my work, because I'm seeing people coming out of there making huge differences in their lives, and I know that they're going to do that in the world. And see, so I don't have that many. I'm 71. I don't have that many years left. So I've got to work with people that can really create something that's going to make our world one that I want to see my grandkids live in later on, you see. And we each are creating that legacy now if we decide to own who we are. And you're looking at the world and you're thinking everything is going crazy out there. It's going crazy within you. And that's why you're here, and you're meant to own that now. And I'm going to do everything I can to help those who really want to move forward. I say that because you can't convince someone to do something that when they're not ready. I was never ready. I told you about 1987. I knew there was another big change in our world happening at that time, which people were talking about, but I said, no, I don't want to see that. I can't go into that. And then I had difficulties throughout the rest of my life. We have gone through these things before. This is history. If you go back and study history, that's why I was directed to do that. You can see these changes. This is one we've never experienced. I gave you messages and I was talking about the United States. I did that 2 years ago. I didn't know where that was coming from. Didn't understand it, but I said the restructuring is happening and the United States is going to lead the way. It was crazy, but now I understand we're going through something. The United States is not that old. We've been the leaders and we've gone through things, and now we're coming to something new now, because it's just a different astrological thing that's going on for the United States that makes this period in our lives really potent, really powerful. And we all have the ability now to create something in our lives that could be purposeful for us and then for the world. That's what it is. So I'm going to keep working on that. I talked about my rate on that. I'm going to leave it there for the weekend. Then I don't know where it's going to change, because it's going to go up. And then I'll tell you, I'm going to do something a little different. When I'm working with people, it's going to be on a case-by-case basis. We will see what your thing is, whatever it is you want to create. You'll see all of this later. Whatever it is you want to create, we'll talk about it. We'll have a consultation. We'll figure out what we think, how long that's going to take, how many times, what it's going to cost. We'll negotiate. We'll come up with something that works for you. And whatever I come up with, you will have that result. You can't come to me with a difficulty, a challenge, or problem that you have that I will not give you an alternate solution, that I will not offer you something that will stimulate your thinking to get out of your own way. That's all I do, because I can see it, because I've blocked myself forever. So I'm the best at seeing where you've been blocking yourself. I just wanted to send that to you today, because we had a big change in our world today, and you'll feel it. And in the next several days, you'll see more of it. And as I come to this information, I'll always give it to you, and which I will do more of tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Sunday. See you soon.